Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Forge the Sun. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Allie, Isaac, and Tristan from Forge the Sun. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. And we've got some fans. We've got Ashley, we've got Paul, we've got Blood Rune Sigil here as well. So how you guys doing?
What up, dudes?
All right.
Doing great.
Excellent. Excellent. So I had mentioned this before we started recording, but I'm going to say it again. I'll be honest, I had not listened to your band. I knew the name, but I hadn't listened to any of the music until Allie reached out and said, hey, we'd like to be on Fans with Bands. I'm like, all right, cool. And I went to Spotify, started listening to your music, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow, this is so good. I mean, I listened to all those tunes. I was actually listening to them all again today. And it's fantastic. All you guys do a fantastic job, in your roles. The songwriting is awesome. A lot of catchy, really good tunes, superb melodies, some progressive elements, just the whole package. I thought it was just fantastic.
Thank you.
So I thank you guys so much for reaching out, because I'm glad to, one, experience your music and become a fan myself, and then also be able to talk to you guys. So yeah.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Awesome. So the first question I want to know is, I love the name Forge the Sun. So how did you guys come up with that name?
So funny story. When we were releasing our single Nature, if you've listened to that one, that's like the 8-minute progressive metal rock one, very inspired by Tool. When we were about to release that in 2021, another band, I believe in Massachusetts, dropped their introductory EP literally minutes before we were about to drop the song, under the name The Nine, which was what we were originally going at as the Nine. So this other band dropped it, and we were just we just didn't spend all this time on this amazing song to be the second The Nine to drop this month. So we were we gotta regroup, we gotta think of something else. So we spent quite a bit of time just kind of brainstorming before we dropped the song to figure out what we wanted to be called. And we knew that we wanted the name to either resonate with our sound as a band, or something related to Detroit, where we're from, or something related to our music influences.
Michigan.
So,
I was looking up prehistoric beavers that used to walk around Michigan. I was man, it didn't sound metal enough, but the concept is cool.
Prehistoric beavers, yes.
We were desperate. It was dark times.
Yeah, so we were looking up, researching anything, just looking up any little thing. And for me, I was kind of just taking all those elements and trying to mismatch them together into some type of name. And I fell on Forge the Sun, which I kind of pulled just based off of inspiration from the music that we were writing on itself, because the music itself is really powerful. It's got a lot of intricacies to it, and what's more powerful than forging a literal sun? So it's kind of where it fell on.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the name. I was a little shocked that you thought about changing it to Forget He Sun.
It's what the people wanted.
Literally.
But I'm glad you came back, and so that's cool.
Literally every time somebody reads the shirt, which Paul could model, it's always looking at it oh, forget he.
Forget the sun.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it is awesome.
There is a Forget the Sun too. That's
there is. Oh, actually.
Yeah, they're really, I think they're death. I think they're deathcore too. So different sound, but Yeah, no. Forget his son. Doesn't even make sense, but you know what I mean? Like count the letters. You know what I mean? It's just like
Right.
not forget the son. But yeah, no, it's death metal bands have like font where you can't even read the name. It just looks like a bunch of twigs and stuff. But
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
people are like, yeah, I love like that band, man. It's like
Yeah.
ours
Like
isn't even nearly that crazy, and people are still like forget his son.
that's
So
funny.
whatever.
So speaking of the music and the songs, I think you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the most recent tune you had out is and so this has to stand for something, but WIGFE. What does that stand for?
It
Clueless.
stands for What in God's Flat Earth.
Excellent. Awesome.
Interesting.
That's fantastic. So tell me about like that tune, because I thought it was great. It's got super cool hooks in it. I was wondering, like, maybe go into like how that song came to be. What was the songwriting like, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So with that one, we had with our very first drummer, he had said at one point, like, can we just write a song that doesn't have like a ginormous bridge section? You know what I mean? Like a big like through composed bridge section. Like we just have a song that's just fun to play. You know, like that's basically what I'm saying. That was Matt Fickney. He's a great drummer in the Detroit area. But that was kind of like step one was like, what's the point of the song? So it's like, all right, cool. Write a song that's just kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
And then I had we'd been covering a lot of music, and so you study like song forms, just kind of it's part of it. Like you pick up on patterns and forms and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, like one of the songs that's really fun to play and that people love is Walk This Way. So I kind of like went to that song by Aerosmith and kind of looked at it. I was like, oh, this is like short, catchy. I mean, it's not insanely short, but it's like, no, it's catchy. It's straight to the point. It's a fun rock song. So I kind of used that as the model. And kind of like had the form memorized and used that as the template instead of this big, like, again, this big, like progressive thing. So those were the first few steps. And then kind of written the form out, and then the ending where like there's the trading solo with like originally it was like a solo for 4 bars and then the riff and then a solo for 4 bars and then the riff, kind of like this trading back and forth.
Yeah.
I was pretty inspired by like trading fours like with jazz music. That's kind of where I got that idea from.
Cool.
Allie came up with the OOs at the end. That was her thing. So it kind of just added even more of a layer to it. So yeah, that was really how that song came to be. And I didn't write the lyrics. So Allie, if you want to talk about the lyrics or anything else in this.
Yeah, lyrically, the song, we actually started writing that song in 2020, which it's probably obvious that the lyrics themselves were inspired by the current events of 2020, which honestly, like, in terms of difficulties, it was really easy for me to like lay all of it out. Because I remember I worked at Best Buy at the time, and Best Buy was just in like the conversations of, are we going to close the store down? Like, what's our future look like? Like, what's going on? So I was driving home like after that, and like the lyrics just started flowing out after I was starting to listen to the music, and I was kind of inspired by like Fortunate Son, like CCR, like that type of like kind of flowy like melody beat. And I would say like just the overall general theming of the song was like really truly inspired by how hard it is to kind of trust where you're getting your information from nowadays, because it's all more of a rat race to get the story out first versus sharing things truly and ethically in terms of news. So it's like, who do we even trust type of format, which that's kind of where the name of the song kind of arose from. But I kind of wanted to like do something funny just because it's such a heavy subject matter that just wanted to have a little bit of humor in there.
Well, and I meant to mention that that tune is a little bit of a divergence for you guys because the other tunes have a lot more progressive. It's that one's more of kind of a straight ahead kind of rock song.
We totally sold out. Yeah, that was here's the thing. The most progressive thing you can do, I think it was what Geddy Lee had mentioned. He said the most progressive thing you can do is do something that people aren't expecting, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of shows off like Genesis is one of my favorite bands. At least they're my top 50 for sure, probably top 25. But at the time they were like my favorite band. When we were writing when we were writing Wigfee and like the EP, but like I was like, again, Geddy Lee had said, the most progressive thing you can do is write music people aren't going to expect, and you look at a band like Genesis, the whole career of that band was like super proggy, and then like there were three, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the 80s, like I Can't Walk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the Air Tonight, yeah. All that stuff. So a band that can write in all styles, I think I think that's an important skill to have, and I think that's the most progressive thing. Right? But yeah, it is kind of it's funny you bring that up. It's nothing like Nature. I mean,
yeah, or that the other tune I really love is Genesis.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that tune's fantastic. I think that was on the EP, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's on the EP, and we're redoing it on the album. It's a brighter tempo on the album, and it's got some new solos that I wrote for it, and so brighter tempo, new solos. The production's the higher end, and then that tune I wrote that when Genesis and Led Zeppelin were like that was like those were my two bands for like 3 or 4 months. That was just like Genesis, Led Zeppelin. I named it Genesis, but it like sounds like a Zeppelin song. You know what I mean? But it like if you listen to the bridge section, it's more inspired by like those big like elaborate sections with like Tony Banks and like Phil Collins and Steve Hackett, but it's like with a Zeppelin ensemble. But I'm glad you dug that. Thanks for
yeah, no, it was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to because I might have mentioned, I think I did, that I love the tunes on the EP, but you can tell like your production value on the newer tunes is vastly superior. I mean, mix
I hope
is better.
so for the money that we spent.
It is. I mean, as soon as you listen to it, it's like night and day. I think vocal mix is better. All overall, overall instrumentation is better. Yeah, I think it's great. So,
awesome,
where is that being done? So, out of curiosity. Are you doing it yourselves? Or are you
Radon Studios in Kego Harbor, studio owned by Mark Stewart.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, good job.
Thank you. Yeah, it's glad you dig it, man. That's more to come. So
awesome. So this is just me asking you guys questions. It's also an opportunity for fans to ask questions. So anybody got any questions you're gonna want to ask these guys?
Paul.
I have like a list of 20 questions. So, but
limited to 19. But all right.
Let's see. My first question would be: I want to know, are the rumors true that it was so hard to work with Dan of Bloodrune Sigil that you kicked him to the curb and got Isaac to play drums?
Totally true.
Well, it got kind of wild. We were on a gig, and we only have one guitar in the band. I thought we were playing a gig, and I just start, I go to solo, and right before I solo, I hear another guitar come out of nowhere. I look over, Dan's playing drums and guitar at the same time. That's when we had to we're like, dude, I get the guitar solos, you got the drum, and we were just, it was a big thing, man. It was crazy, and I wish him the best. I hope he's doing well, but big Marshall stack too. I don't know where that thing came from. I think he ran it up on stage, plugged it in while I was playing. But time heals all wounds, and I think we'll get over it eventually. But still pretty fresh.
Oh, awesome!
That's good to hear. You're very gracious. His talent can be contained, really. So best to let him do his thing. But I would like to know the real story about how you connected with Isaac.
Oh yeah. Um,
From me or
yeah,
from
Isaac, do you wanna take that one?
sure. So I was in another band called A Chronicle, and I've played a few shows with Forge the Sun. Like, and while I was in that band, we played a few shows, and like throughout the past couple of years. And then last October, I think it was, Tristan hit me up and asked me to fill in, and I was kind of confused because I saw they had a drummer. Like I just played with him like a few weeks ago, and then
I think that was Dan.
that was
Or was
that
it?
was Safari.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh yeah, Safari.
Yeah, I went to we had a show together, and Safari used some of my equipment. So yeah, and then like a few weeks later, Tristan hit me up, and I was like, sure, I'll try playing some of the songs because I am not too familiar with progressive rock. So yeah, so I learned some of the songs in a few weeks, and then wasn't our first show out in Okemos?
Yeah, it was like in that mall. Yeah, no, you crushed it, man. You learned that stuff
Yeah,
really fast.
at
And they put
Double
you in that
Club.
cube, and they put like a box over my amp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and your
Your
amp caught on
amp went on
fire.
fire, yeah.
Yeah, dude, my amp caught on fire. It was crazy. But yeah, no, that was the first show, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And then so yeah, I filled in a few more shows while still in my other band, and then we ended up playing. Both bands played together at the Diesel,
Oh, we
and
played it. Yeah, that's
so
right.
yeah, that was like my second show with you guys. Played
Double
a double
duty.
set, yeah, and then I ended up quitting a Chronicle in December for different reasons. We're all still on good terms, and then they got a new drummer, and yeah, I asked Tristan if I could be a permanent drummer, and well, asked everyone obviously, and they all agreed to let me join. So
Awesome.
yeah, I joined in February, like mid-February,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, about that time. Yeah.
Nice. Very
It was
nice.
just,
Yeah, it's been
we wanted to
really
see how
fun
everything
jamming
went.
with these guys.
Uh, you know, we had played enough shows with you where I was like, dude, he's starting to. I mean, you're just getting better and better each show, and like when you get to the point where it's like, wow, okay, he's starting to have a better set than I am. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool, and everybody was like, yeah, Isaac's cool, and then I think the show we asked you at was the one in Saginaw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was like the Hamilton Street Pub.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I think that was yeah, the rest is history. So
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see. We got Patrick is joined and Jeremy. So
Hey,
again, open it up for folks. Anybody, any of you fans have questions? Paul has another 18, so jump in early.
Yeah, I don't want to monopolize, but Isaac, so you didn't really play progressive rock before. What genre were you more coming from?
I started out playing metal, and then I never really tried playing like fast. So I don't know. I guess I was more into like In Flames and Corn
Mhm.
lately. Well, In Flames and more so Corn lately. But yeah, so I don't know, Deftones a little bit.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So like still kind of like metal, but not like crazy fast. And a little bit of punk. So yeah, I did learn a couple Dream Theater songs like Dance of Eternity, and then that was probably that was like the extent of
Nonchalant.
my
Yeah. I'll just
that
take
was
on
like
some
the
Mike
extent of
Portney.
my
It's fine.
drag. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that song was the extent of my progressiveness. And yeah, so it was a little bit of like rock and slower paced metal, I guess, that I was into.
Now Isaac's working his way through the Neil Peart catalog. So
Oh, yeah.
And the Tristan.
Oh, dude, I don't even hold a candle to that. But yeah, no, it's I think the big thing was like you could tell the chops were there, dude. It was just, I mean, it's like apples and orange, or it's like apples and like cabbages, man. You know what I mean? Like the A Chronicle stuff, you could definitely see like Isaac had like insane chops. It was just a different style of music, right? Like
Right.
so
Yeah.
it was
Like
really
being
exciting.
that it was metal, there was no dynamics really. So I had to pick up that a little bit again on joining Forge the Sun. So which is it's always good expanding your knowledge. So
Oh hell
For
yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
All right. Anybody else have questions for Forge the Sun? And no worries if you don't. I can forge on.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
So I have a question about you mentioned like re-recording. I thought I saw maybe on Facebook that you're gonna put out a full length album. I'm assuming it's what had been before, and maybe some other songs. So what's the story behind that? When is that happening? When are you hoping to get it out there? What is it gonna be called?
The album is completely done, so we're finished with
Oh,
recording. I think we were in the studio for like almost 2 years, so we've fine-tuned everything. And the album name is Heart of the Sunrise,
nice.
which was inspired by a song by Yes, which there is a song on the album which was inspired by Yes.
Excellent.
And in terms of like dropping, we're still trying to figure out the album art right now. So that's currently in drafting mode. So once that gets fixed up, then we're going to release it. I would love to release it sometime in May. We do have a headlining show in May 27th at the Diesel,
Nice.
with a couple of cool bands. One of them is Living AI, which we played with a lot over the years. Another one is Truss. So it would be great to use that as a album release party.
Yeah.
But if we get the album artwork squared away by then hopefully that's the plan.
Cool. Awesome. That'll be great. That'll be great. So a question I like to ask, and folks probably know it was listened before, but how did you get into music for each of you? Like, was there a particular person, band, family member, somebody that inspired you to want to make music and perform it? So let's start with Allie.
Music was always kind of a part of my life. I think I always dreamt of like wanting to be like a rock star because music has always been a part of my life, but it never became like a serious part of my life until college, actually. So I come from a family of singers. My mom sings, my brother sings, all my
Nice.
immediate family, my aunt sings. So my grandma was a theater conductor. So she apparently used to force my mom and my aunts into little songs and dances during like Christmas parties and stuff like that. So there was probably some underlying trauma on my mom's side that kept her from wanting me to pursue like performance. Um, so so everybody in my family sang, everybody in my family is quite good. So I just kind of thought it was normal, a thing that people just did. So I throughout my life I was kind of more in like theater and choir,
Mhm.
more so because I thought it was normal and also because I had severe anxiety. So you wouldn't catch me like close to a stage in most of my lifetime until college when I did a electronic music production class and had to write an original song and share it with the class. And
Yeah.
after that, everybody was like, why aren't you doing anything with this? Like, you need to do something with this. So then I started doing some classical training, because if I wanted to go in the direction of music, I wanted to do it correctly. And that's actually where I met Tristan, at his school that he teaches at, Grosse Pointe Music Academy. That's kind of how we got hooked up with doing
Ah,
music.
very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
So let's jump over to Tristan. How did you get into music?
So my mom's always been really big into music. She's always had like a really big record collection in the house that she would play. I got really into it. Like, let's see. Well, when I was like little, I liked Kiss like a lot. Like Kiss was like my favorite band, because it was like, dude, it's like superheroes that
Yeah.
like played rock and roll, dude. Like my head, it's like something out of a dream, right? Like that's
Right.
amazing. They had action figures too.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, who are these guys? So that like blew my mind. And then the first time I actually like, I think really fell in love with like just the music was I saw Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix in like 6th grade, and I was like, oh my god, the first half of this movie is amazing. The second half with all the drugs, not good, but this first half is awesome. I love the music. I will watch the first half nonstop. This is great. And I got really into Johnny Cash. And that's like from there I got into like old school punk. And then I saw Ozzy in 8th grade at the Palace, and then I got into metal. And then like by the time I was like a sophomore, by the time I was like a junior in high school, I was like Ingve snob, Ingve asshole. I was just like, more is more. I was just like, oh man, just mindlessly just repeating, just like, he's the best. I mean, I think that's awesome, but like, and then I wanted to study music my senior year, so I studied with Levi Henson, and then I attended Wayne State, and got my BA in music there, and along the way too, I've gotten like other forms of music education, like going to camps and stuff and studying with players I really admire. But that's basically, long story short, that's where I'm at now. And now I teach music, and
Cool.
and I gig, and I play with 3 very talented groups, and it's a fun time. So yeah, that's how
Awesome.
I got into it.
Cool. Isaac, how about you?
Mine. So my oldest brother played like lots of instruments. He made like a one-man band and recorded an album by himself. And then he passed away. Well, always wanted me to play drums
Yeah.
or guitar or something. And so yeah, he passed away. Then I got his drum set and taught myself how to play. And then
Wow.
I tried picking up guitar a little bit, and that didn't work out. And then I know a little bit on piano, but stuck with drums and started in, I think, my sophomore or junior year of high school. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just
Awesome.
kind of songs, taught myself what I could, watching videos and stuff.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Your lack of guitar playing ability probably helped you get your position, because obviously Dan's guitar playing ability screwed him
That
out
was
of
a
the
big
job.
part of it. We talked to him. I said, this is a problem, and I was kind of a dick, but I was honest. I was like, dude, you own a Marshall? Okay, cool. Do you have a guitar? All right, cool. He doesn't have either. The ceiling for what could go wrong is pretty low. I got a good feeling about you. So still wake up, man. Cold sweats. Just like, oh, man.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be like WWE when they're like, he's got a Marshall.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's great for Plug Root Social.
Oh man.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I gotta head out, guys. I gotta go teach. Thanks again for having me. I might be able to log on later if I can't. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thanks,
Um,
Tristan.
Yeah, have a nice night.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Take care.
So I was going to ask another question, and I should have got Tristan right before he could go, but I'm going to ask all of you guys because I think I may have asked some of you, but I'm not sure. Um, and that is, if you could just sit down with anybody, they could be alive or dead, have a beverage of your choice. Who would that be, and what would you like to talk to them about? Let's start with Allie.
That's a loaded question. There's so many people that I would want to sit down with, but like the first person that would probably come to mind, as there's always hope that the people that are still alive you'll be able to meet one day,
Yeah.
is definitely Chester Bennington,
Oh yeah.
just because of how, and I don't think people think that he's an underrated singer, but I feel like he needed more credit while he was with us,
Yeah.
in terms of like his vocal abilities, because I was just like reviewing, because all these videos have been popping up just because it's the anniversary, and all the new music that they've been dropping. Well, not new, but all
Right.
the unreleased tracks that they've been dropping. And it's just like, dang, like he had such an amazing, clean voice, but also the control that he had with like his screams is just so amazing. And one thing about me is like I would probably say vocal style, like I have a fairly like clean vocal style and I'm trying to learn how to get like some of that grit on it. I would love to be able to like have him teach me like how do you do that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so cool, and the way that he can do it and how long he can hold out notes in that style is just insane.
Yeah, I always admire vocalists that. Well, you have great vocals, so you know you're well. As far as whatever you want to do, I'm sure you'll be able to to do that. But I always admire vocalists that can do that kind of sing really good, clean, like across their range, but then also get into like a growl or some kind of like raspy thing and not blow their vocal cords out. I'm always amazed that somebody can do that. There's a guy. He was in Into It. I don't know if anybody knows this progressive metal band called Into Eternity. And fuck, I'm
Stu
blanking
Black.
on it. Yeah, Stu Block. Yes, yeah, that dude can do like super highs, sing super clean, and do like these awesome death metal growls. I'm like, how does this guy do that? It's awesome. So yeah, but yeah, Chester's voice, yeah. And I would agree. I think he was sort of underrated because he kind of got pigeonholed here, right? New metal and Linkin Park. That's it, right? That's all you're known for. But anyway, Isaac, how about you? If you could sit down with anybody.
I guess sticking with the music topic, I would pick this drummer. Forget where he's from. I think Norway. Bård Kolstad from Leprous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he started out really young. I think he taught himself to or something, but he used to do like street drumming videos, like drumming in the street, and so he would do that, and I would watch those, and it was really sweet. And now he's in world touring
Yeah.
band, and he just seems really cool. I don't know how much English he talks. I think it'd be cool to sit down, and if he does speak English well, just talk about music and
That's
his
right.
drumming and things and all that. So
yeah, you can just jam together.
yeah,
The beat.
yeah. The videos he posts, like of his playthroughs, he like messes up and like misses hits and stuff, but he like still plays through it and posts it, and I think that's really just the rawness of it is I respect a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, he's a great drummer. And Leprous.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a band. Holy crap.
Mhm.
Let's see. The rest of you guys. Paul, how about you? Who would you sit
Let's
down
see. Question being who I would have sit down with.
Yeah, sit down with, have a beverage with.
Mhm.
Who would that be, and what would you like to talk to him about?
So that's a really easy one. I would pick the bassist from Forge the Sun because I've never gotten to actually talk to him. He's like a man of mystery.
He is
And
a man of mystery.
I feel like as a bass player myself, like we could talk a lot. And I've also said I'd like to know how he was able to um, pass so quickly through the classes at Hogwarts, and which house he belonged to, if it was Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Oh
I'm
man.
teasing, of course.
I
I'm
know,
teasing.
I know. And
Um,
for anybody that well, you can go look up a picture of Barrett and yeah, see. I mean, I don't know him either, so I'm talking about like I know him, but I've seen his picture and I know I got the reference. Hopefully he doesn't mind.
I mean, he's even a man of mystery to us. Like we'll be rehearsing and then like he'll be in the corner and we'll all just like look away for like a second and he'll be gone. So
huh.
Awesome. Awesome. You gotta love it. Blood Run Sigil dudes. Who do you guys want to sit down with? Yes. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Patrick, how about you?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I was thinking about it, and it's kind of hard to choose between two. Ones that have passed, of course, I'd probably say Riley Gill from Power Trip, just
Oh
because
yeah.
he's really inspiring, not just lyrically, but just as a person, to just be like as genuine as you can be, and just like not a bad bone in his body, honestly. And anyone meet him says he was a really close friend of theirs, and I just want to like know like how you can still be positive in such like a shit world, honestly. But either him or Gene Hoglan, because he's one of my favorite drummers.
Oh yeah. Gene, that guy. He's a machine.
Oh,
Holy
he's
crap.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw the Death to All show not too long ago, and he just killed it. The
Yeah.
whole band killed it.
Awesome. Uh, Ashley, I don't know if you had anybody. You can text in there if you'd like, and I'll read it off if you'd like, or not. And another question for you guys: what was the last album that you bought that you really loved, and what was that album, and what'd you love about it, Isaac?
The last one I physically bought, I don't remember.
Then it couldn't have been that good.
That was years ago. The last one,
Or the last one, maybe you streamed. You didn't have to buy it, but you streamed it and you loved it. And
yeah,
you're like, holy shit, this is awesome.
the new In Flames album.
Nice.
That one, yeah, they got a new drummer, Tanner Wayne.
Yeah.
But yeah, his drumming is insanely good on that album,
Yeah.
and
I think they've gone
just
back a little bit in terms of their style too, a little bit
it
more.
got heavy.
Yeah, more Jester's Race
yeah,
style as opposed to where they've
yeah.
gone. Yeah, it's cool.
Mhm. So
Awesome.
yeah, that album is that's probably my favorite of the year
Nice.
right now.
Very nice.
So
All right, Allie, how about you?
The last album that I listened to top to bottom, which I will say it's hard to find like bands, like even like bands that are like my all-time favorite. Like it's hard for me to like listen to like their music like top to bottom nowadays because it always seems like they put all this effort into like their singles to try and make it go
Yeah.
viral, to try and like get people like hooked on it and don't spend a lot of time on the album. So it's very rare that you have like musicians that put a lot of thought into like the whole concept album nowadays. But
Yeah, that's true.
a band that still does that I absolutely love, which is the last album that I listened to, is the Spirits album by Nothing More.
Oh,
Amazing. amazing band. Like they're still, I guess, still fairly new. Like they started out in like early 2010s.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I really love about them is their dynamics. Even though like they're not using a lot of mixed meter, they're very dynamic within 4/4, and they can go from like soft to like super heavy to like wall of noise and like all of their songs. So they're all very catchy and very dynamic. And the one thing that I really love that they do is they play around with negative space like amazingly. So it's like you think it's over, but it's like it keeps going or
Yeah.
it goes from one place to another. And all of their music is just really thought out and really creative. So if you have not listened to them, I would highly recommend them because they're amazing.
Is that are they from Australia?
No, I think they're actually from Texas.
Really? Okay. I think I'm confusing them with another band.
They're also really incredible live too. Like they put on a great stage show. Like all of them are percussionists, so they'll all play like some type of percussion instrument at the same time. Like they build like their own weird instruments for stage. So they've got it all. They're the full
I
package.
am thinking of because I remembered. I just didn't realize they were from Texas, but the instrument building, I remember that because they build all kinds of crazy shit and they take it on stage with them. Like,
Yeah.
the hell is this thing? Right? Like, we're gonna play it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Paul, how about you?
Let's see. Actually, if you know the band Elder,
Elder, yes, yeah,
they put out a record not too long ago, and I kind of was like faintly, I was sort of aware of their stuff, but not really close. I know they kind of have moved from, maybe they did heavier stuff, but the most recent thing they did was a really cool progressive, I would say definitely like progressive rock record where they're not afraid to like stretch out
yeah,
songs with looping riffs. And like what I really liked about it was that I liked how many textures were going on in the music. Like it was cool interplay with keyboards and guitar. And I guess it's somewhat controversial, I guess, because there's some people that like prefer heavier version of the band. I'm
okay,
not sure, but I really dug it. I thought it was in fact, we mentioned some of these bands like Genesis and Yes, and it kind of
yeah.
gave me some of that
Oh wow, cool,
feeling. Yeah, I forget the name of the album, but it's
awesome.
the
I don't
latest
think
one
I've
by
really
Elvis.
listened to them, so I'm gonna have to check that out. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I give it I give it 4 beers.
Excellent.
That's my rating. Yeah. And also, if you haven't checked it out from 2022, there's an album called Transmutation.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Blood Rune Sigil. You got to check that out and play it on repeat all the time.
Yeah, that
I
album
was
is
not paid to
full of
say that.
insanity. Full of insanity. So, Blood Rune Sigil dudes. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Dan, anything from you? Yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah. When for the longest time, so fun fact, for the longest time I did not like Slayer because I was like I don't know why. Something about it, like early Slayer. Even though now I really do enjoy earlier Slayer, but there was something about the solos by Kerry King that threw me off because they're kind of atonal. Like they they don't really fit with the. I mean, granted, when you try to play along to the speed of those tunes, you're like, how the fuck are you going to get a solo in there? So I give them props for that. But I was, a guitar player and played leads, and I was like, this sucks. I can't, this guy's, he's off key half the time. And like, what is he doing? And then, Season of the Abyss came out and South of Heaven. And I was like, oh, I get it now. And then, of course, you become a huge fan of, the godfather of drums. I mean, that guy can do no wrong. It's just, anyway. So now I'm a huge Slayer fan. I don't have it carved in my arm, but there you go. Well, it looks like Patrick's in the middle of something. I was going to ask Patrick, what's an album you have been listening to?
My most recent has been the EP from 10,000 Teeth. They're a death band from Port Huron, and it's just real gnarly shit. They're always a good time live. Super cool guys. They don't have many. They just have 2 songs on streaming right now. But if you are able to get a hold of their copy of their most recent EP, it's a really good listen. I'd recommend it.
Awesome. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's another band I've seen their name around, but I haven't listened to them, so it sounds like I need to check that out.
We
You
played
got
with them a couple times. They're really great.
Awesome. Cool. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be on Fans with Bands. Very much appreciate it. I've got one last question, and that is pineapple or no pineapple on pizza? Allie.
Well, I eat everything, so I would take it with or without.
Oh, but would you order it that way?
No.
All right. Isaac, how about you?
Kind of the same way. I don't mind it, but I typically just don't order it with it. But I mean, if it's on there, I'll eat it.
All right.
So.
Awesome. Yeah. Pizza's pizza.
Yeah.
Patrick, how about you?
I think it's great. I actually, if y'all been to Blaze Pizza, I usually get it every time when I'm there, because I like to get the sweetness from the pineapple and just drizzle it with buffalo sauce.
Oh,
The sweet and spicy, that combo is really good.
yeah, because I've heard that from people that like to get pineapple, they'd go with pineapple and jalapeno. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
nice. Paul, I can't remember.
Yeah, as I've said before, I didn't try it until college. 'Cause, college is a time of experimentation, and but I liked it. I liked it. Do I do it? I don't do it all the time. Now that it's legalized, I don't know. It's not as fun, but it's all right.
Oh, the Pineapple Express. Awesome.
Right.
And Blood Rune Sigil. All right, cool. Awesome. So it sounds like everybody's agreeable on the pineapples. Very nice. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on Fans with Bands. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
All
It
right.
was a great hang. It was like family reunion.
It was cool. All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much to Allie, Tristan, Jeremy, Isaac, Ashley, Patrick, and Paul for joining me in this episode of Fans of Bands. It was so cool to be able to talk with Forge the Sun and hear their story. Their songwriting and recordings are fantastic, and I can't wait to hear their new album called Heart of the Sunrise, which hopefully will be out later this spring. Keep your eyes on the Forge the Sun socials for the latest. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.